Viewing and interacting with Three.js and the Needle Engine tools in a VR browser can be an exciting experience, combining 3D rendering and virtual reality capabilities. To do this, you'll need to use a VR-compatible web browser that supports WebVR or WebXR, technologies that allow VR content to run within browsers. First, ensure that you have Three.js and the Needle Engine integrated into your project. If you're using the Needle Engine, it's typically built on top of Three.js, so you're essentially working with both. Three.js, a 3D graphics library that allows for the creation and display of 3D content in a web browser.
Needle Engine, a framework on top of Three.js designed for VR and AR experiences. Once you have your VR scene set up, deploy the application on a web server and open it using a WebXR-supported browser in your VR headset. Open the URL on the browser in your headset. If using desktop VR, connect the VR headset, like Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, to your computer and launch the browser in VR mode. With the scene set up, you'll now be able to interact with it in VR using motion controllers or hand tracking if the headset supports it. You can implement VR interaction, such as grabbing or pointing at objects, within the Three.js scene or Needle Engine environment. The content you see will be rendered in 3D and adjusted based on your head movements. This is achieved through the head tracking system in the headset. WebXR allows interaction with the scene using VR controllers or hand tracking, depending on the headset's capabilities. You may interact with the 3D content in different ways. Most VR headsets come with controllers that are tracked in space. These controllers allow you to grab, point at, or manipulate objects within the scene. You might point at a button to click it, grab virtual objects, or use gestures to trigger certain actions, like opening a door, picking up an item, or navigating through menus. Buttons on the controllers may allow for additional actions such as teleportation or tool selection. Some headsets, like the Oculus Quest, offer hand tracking. You can use your real hands, without controllers, to interact with the environment. This gives an even more immersive feeling as your hands are represented in the virtual world. You can pinch, swipe, or grab objects with your real hands, and the experience feels natural. Most VR experiences include 3D spatial audio, which enhances immersion. The sounds you hear will seem to come from the directions that match their virtual position within the environment. The experience relies heavily on immersive visuals, 3D audio, and interactive controls.